right, in today's video, I would like to talk to you about what goes on before your walk even happens. And what goes on before your walk even happens could be why your dog is pulling on leash as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is that your walk actually starts the moment that you decide you are going to go for a walk. It doesn't matter if you just pick up your shoes, if you grab your keys, if you grab the leash. It doesn't matter. All of those are cues to your dog that something is happening. A very, very common example is every time I put my shoes on, my dog thinks we're going for a walk. Or in a completely different scenario, every time I grab my keys, my dog knows I'm leaving. Every time I grab my purse, my dog knows I'm leaving. Stuff like that. All of that are cues to our dogs that something is happening. And because of past experiences, they can kind of bridge that gap and equate the fact that, okay, every time she puts her shoes on, we go for a walk. Or first thing in the morning, she puts her shoes on and we go for a walk. You know, it's all those environmental cues for our dogs that tell our dogs what is going to happen. So why is that important for your walks? And it's important because when we go to put our shoes on first thing in the morning, and our dogs are already thinking, okay, we're going for a walk. I'm going to get some exercise. I am going to get to smell things. I may be able to bark at someone. They're building up their excitement levels or even their cortisol levels. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Cortisol, it is either stress or it's excitement. It's just it's positive excitement or negative stress. So their cortisol levels and their energy and everything starts getting more and more hyped up, I guess. And before you know it, your dog is going absolutely nuts at the front door because they think they're going for a walk when really you just wanted to check the mail. So what can we do about it? And it's one of the easiest things, but also one of the hardest things you will ever do when training your dog. And it's this concept called ditch the routine. And what that means is basically, if I decide that I no longer want my dog to anticipate going for a walk, I'm going to put my shoes on and then I'm going to go make breakfast in the kitchen first thing in the morning. Or I'm going to put my shoes on and then sit down and read or scroll or do something else. Right? Don't mind my messy couch. And I did this on purpose where I kept my dogs just I didn't put them on their climbs. I didn't ask them to do anything. I just let them be. Because every time I grab my leash is a cue that something is going to happen. You see, they all got up. They all think something is going to happen. And I'm just going to put it right back down. And then we're going to see how long it takes for our dogs to settle back down. So you can see, I promise, I'm a one-man show here, so all I did was I moved my camera back to this frame, and then I came back and started talking. I did nothing else. I didn't command my dogs. I didn't do anything. And both Mufasa and Atlas decided that they were going to go to their climbs. And what that tells me is that I have done just a little bit of ditch the routine enough so that they still think, oh, that leash is pretty cool, but I'm not going to get overly excited about it. Now, another thing is I don't have shoes on, so that could be another cue for my dogs. So one thing you can do to help your dog to disassociate that grabbing the leash or putting on my shoes doesn't always mean going for a walk is you can pick the leash up and put it right back down. Just like I did a couple seconds ago. Just pick the leash up, put it right back down. Now, I exaggerated a little bit so that I could show you, but literally it would just be, let me move my camera again. It would just be, pick the leash up, put it back down. And you can do this with such a number of things. You can pick your shoes up and put them back down. You could pick your keys up and put them back down. You could pick your purse up and put it back down. You can, with anything and everything your dog finds as a trigger almost, you can work to get rid of that trigger. And so one thing is pick it up, put it back down. Another thing is pick it up and move it. So It'll be difficult for me to show you without a cameraman, so I'm just going to talk you through it. But it would basically be just me picking up my leash and putting it on the coffee table, or picking up my leash and putting it on the counter. The same concept. Pick up my keys and move them to the mantle. Pick up my keys from the mantle, move them to the kitchen table. Other things you could do would be with your shoes. I could put my shoes on, go cook breakfast. I could put my shoes on, do my hair, brush my teeth, something like that. And so those are some really great ways to start getting rid of that routine your dog has built. Now, if your dog is really, really sensitive to the leash, then one thing you could do is simply grab it and then just let go and move on. So you can make it a habit, and I did this with my doorbell even, that every time you pass, so my leashes are by the front door, every time you pass the front door, grab the leash and keep moving. So if I'm going downstairs, I would just grab the leash as I pass, and then keep going downstairs. Or what I did with the doorbell was same thing. Every time I passed my front door, I would ring the doorbell. Open, ring the doorbell, close the door, move on with my life. That's another really great way to ditch the routine. I really love ditching the routine because I notice that my dogs are less stressed when they don't have as many routines as some other dogs do. Some other dogs, they know that first thing when you wake up, they go for a walk. Right when you come home from work, they play fetch outside. They eat dinner at this time and this time, and that's how they live every single day. And that's totally fine for some dogs. I noticed very, very young with my cattle dog that was not how his life was going to be able to be. He has a very sensitive stomach, so if we were just 15 minutes late from feeding them, so maybe we were out late for dinner and we got home 15 minutes after they were supposed to eat, Atlas would be throwing up because he would be so stressed. He would be, his stomach acid would be acting up and he would just throw up. And so every time we were late, then he'd end up throwing up. So that was the first biggest thing. And the second biggest thing is I realized whenever when I was playing fetch with him a lot outside, at first, it was just one time. And then he was like, okay, now we can do 2 times. And now 3 and 4 and 5. And so he kept increasing the amount of times we played. And that wasn't going to work for my life with my jobs, with just everything going on with having MS. That's not how it works. And then that's another really good point is the fact that I do have MS. Some days I'm going to feel like Superwoman and can train 2 or 3 times in a day. Other days getting out of bed is going to be a struggle. And unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is with this disease. So having a dog that's flexible to be able to, okay, cool, we're going to work, let's go, I'm all in. Or, okay, cool, we need to rest, that's cool, I'm all in, I'm down for whatever. And doing these little things really helps with anything like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. Another thing I want to mention is that I have launched and I'm continuously improving an online course that I created called the Calm and Confident Dog Blueprint. Now, I really, really like this course because it goes over many different areas of our dog's lives and it gives you so many different alternatives as well. So if one game doesn't work well for you, there are many others you can play. And the whole idea behind it having a calm and confident dog helps release the stress of having a high-strung, anxious dog. And then when our dogs are confident, they are even less high-strung, anxious, all of that stuff. So I am absolutely in love with this course that I created. And like I said, I'm continuing to improve it as I go on, as I find new games, as I play new games with my dogs and find things that really work. So it's not like it's a one-time said and done course. It is continually evolving. So I really, really love that. I will have the link in the description below. Ring the bell, hit like, comment, all that fun stuff. And yeah, keep on training.